Hello. Well, in about 4 hours or so, I have to go to the dentist. And being a big chicken, basically, when it comes to that kind of stuff, um, I wanted to remind myself that I've been through things a little bit worse. So I want to tell you a quick story. And there's this thing that they do with people who have spinal reconstruction called halo traction. And it involves something that actually, back in the day, this is 1986, called a halo, which is a metal band that goes around your head. This metal band is connected by screws, and this is one of them I had because I asked them if I could have them. They see that point on the end of there? There's like a very fine point, and this is some kind of freakishly weird titanium alloy metal, and it has a standard screwdriver thing. You can stick a standard screwdriver in there instead of a Phillips. So you got your point there. So uh, I was having a two-step procedure, and what they do in spinal reconstruction back in 1986 is they cut out a rib, they mulch it up, they do an incision down your back by your spine, and they go in through the place where they cut in your rib, and they put these bone pieces along your spine, and they fuse your spine, and then they wait 10 days. But while you're during those 10 days, you're in something called halo traction, where you got the halo, you got these screws connecting you to the halo, and the halo has a fiberglass cord that went into like an old style Nautilus weight type of thing. And it basically feels like a giant pulling on your hair. You just feel yourself being pulled while you're laying there for 10 days. So, that's not much of a story. That's the other thing people have been through. This is the story. So, I'm conscious, completely awake, completely know what's going on. And this guy comes in and he talks to me and he says, "We're having a problem with your halo and how it's set up. One of the screws is slipping, and we're going to have to tighten it down." And I'm like, "Am I going to be awake for this?" And he said, "Well, you have to be awake for it because we can't put you to sleep in the condition that you're in." So usually when you go to the doctor, they'll like, you're going to feel a little pinch, or you're going to feel a little discomfort. You know, this guy looks at me square in the eyes and he says, "I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to hurt like hell. You need to be ready for it." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's something I never heard at a doctor before." So just like I was in some kind of torture flick or something like that, the guy whips out a toolkit and he unfolds it and puts it on my chest. And in the kit, there's like wrenches and screwdrivers and like awls and spiky looking things and just like a whole bunch of tools that he just laid on my chest. And so I got this screw, and you can actually see the mark in my head where the screw was inserted now that my hair decided to say bye byes. And the screw was in my head like so. And he pulled out a standard Phillips screwdriver and started tightening it down while I was awake. And basically felt like that scene in Casino where Joe Pesci had that guy's head in a vice. It just literally felt like I had my head in a vice, and I took it very fairly well. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting. I mean, this might fuck with you or whatever. It has not already, but it's double stamped like a double stamped coin, if you know what that is, because it slipped and then they had to re-tighten it down. So this is the nature of anxiety, though. I've been through something like that. If you aren't wincing right now, I don't know what to tell you, because you know, that's something else. somebody's popping up when I'm trying to tell this dramatic story, taking all the steam out of it. I'm getting YouTube pop-ups. That's okay. It's nice that people want to talk to me. Where's I set the screw down? So, anyways, this thing's got like a fucking razor sharp point on it. Like it's like a needle point. And anyways, that's a short story. I don't have time for a long story. So I'm not unfamiliar. There's not too many people that you ever talk to that have been conscious while getting a screw literally drilled into their skull. So um, yeah, that's about all there is to that story. I was thinking of it this morning. I'm like, you're just going to the dentist, but that's the nature of anxiety. It's like I've had extractions before, and I've had bad times at the dentist before. But compared to getting a screw driven into your head while you're awake, literally with a standard screwdriver, with somebody making turns, just driving that into your head, I would say going to the dentist is probably better. I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb like that. So, yeah. So, when I say I've been through a few things, I've been through a few things. You know, I can speak to a little bit about suffering, both emotional and physical. And like I said, that it doesn't show up all that good. You know, that this is, I'm 50 years old. This happened when I was 18 years old. The one on the other side of my head, because there's 4 screws they got driven in your head. That probably doesn't show up that good, but that's like right around here, and then they put the other screw back here and the other screw back here. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to this, and now I'm blinding you with the light very unnecessarily, so that's not very nice. But, yeah, I got to get moving around. I got to leave here, and I got to be ready to leave here in an hour and a half. And that's it. I've told this story before under another account. I didn't show my face on that one, and I didn't show the scars where the screws were actually driven in. But, you know, there's your proof that, you know, I'm not a liar, because I have the screw, and I have the place in my head where the screw went in. And it's basically something out of an Eli Roth movie. I lived a little piece of hostel, you know, without the psychological uh, component to the torture, where I knew the guy was trying to help me and that he would stop at some point. But yeah, I'll never forget that, because every time you go to the doctor, they're like, "You're gonna feel a little pinch. You might feel some discomfort or nausea with this." You know, he's like, "I'm not gonna." This is his exact words. "I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. This is gonna hurt like hell. You need to be ready for it." I'll never forget that. I heard that and I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, if we're gonna do this, can we do this now?" And he goes, "Absolutely." And that's when he laid the toolkit out, got out the screwdriver, and went to work, just like Dr. Mengele or some shit. Anyways, uh, not a story you'll hear every day, but yeah, time for me to get moving. I'd much rather tell grisly stories on the internet than what I got to do today, regardless if it's just going to the dentist, because my stomach's kind of like not too happy about going to the dentist, and my anxiety not all that good right now. Y'all have a nice day. Or if you're watching this in the evening, I hope you had a nice day. Or if you're watching it in the middle of the night, please, I'm sorry for your insomnia, and go to sleep. Turn this off. This isn't a good thing to watch in the middle of the night if you're trying to sleep. It might give you nightmares. So, anyways, God bless. Be good. Good fortune. All that stuff. And I will talk to you later on down the road. Goodbye.